Hello there everybody, Sam'sTrains here, welcome back to the railway and welcome back to another video. Now today we're going to be doing one of my very favourite videos ever, and it's the collection video where I basically go around the room and show you everything in my collection. Now I've done this every year and like I say, it's one of my absolute favourite videos to make. I just love it for a whole load of different reasons. First of all, it's just a chance to appreciate all of the different locomotives out there in the hobby, and that in itself is something that calls for a lot of appreciation. But also because I do it every year, for me it serves as a brilliant log so that I can look back in future years and see exactly what I had when. So it's very interesting for me from that point of view. It's also a bit of a memory test, so no doubt I will get some of the locos wrong. So if I do, please let me know in the comments, and I apologise in advance a little bit for that. And also, if you see any models that I haven't reviewed in ages or I haven't reviewed at all, if you'd like me to review them, let me know in the comments and I will certainly do that. Now last year I did all of my collection. I did the locomotives and the rolling stock. I showed it all in the one video, but the problem is it just went on for ages. It was about 45 minutes long and I just felt that it was a little bit too long. So this year I'm going to separate it up. I'm going to do just the locomotives today, and then next time I'm going to do the rolling stock, and I've got something quite exciting for that. So I think that's pretty much all I've got to say. Can't think anything else off the top of my head. Nope. So we'll get started then. Oh, also, I get asked all of the time, how many locos have you got in your collection? And the answer is I really don't know. It's been years since I've counted. So if you fancy a challenge, and it is a challenge, don't feel you have to do this, but if you want to try and count them all as we go, feel free to. That's pretty crazy, but I bet you someone will try and do it. And if you like, once you've got a final figure, let me know in the comments and we will compare notes, and then when people ask me in the future how many locos I've got, I'll be able to give them a rough idea. Okay, enough blabbering on, let's get started. So here we are then at the Holmby Railroad shelf, and this shelf is exclusively the Holmby Railroad stuff. You'll notice that all of the shelves this year have a foam covering on them now, and that was an idea from a fellow YouTuber, I can't remember his name now, but he suggested that I should get some foam to stand the locos on just to protect the flanges and things, and I thought that actually was quite a good idea, so I took him up on that. So we'll get started on the railroad stuff in just a second, but first I've just spotted these. These are the 040s. So we have here the Triang maroon 040 here in the Lord Westwood scheme. We have another Triang one, that's 6012 in the black. We have the ugly tank engine there, the LSWR 040. The other Triang one, it's the Caledonian version, 7178. And then this one in front here is Queen Elizabeth II. And if I just take this off, you will see yet more. We have the Holmby Southern one there, two Holmby Caledonian ones. I think that's the Caledonian Railway and that's the Highland Railway, I believe. We've got an American one there, that's an American Tender 040, and here, what's this one called? That one is Queen Mary, yes. Right, onto the railroad stuff. So a couple of A4s to start with then. We have Gadwell in the Garter Blue, we have Mallard in the green, then we've got an A3, that's the Flying Scotsman, we have the A1 Tornado, two of the Great Western 440 county classes, we have County of Devon and the County of something else, I forget about that, shall I double check? That one's Devon. And that one's Flint, yes, and I put the TTS sound into one of those. I think that one's Devon. Then we've got the two Midland compounds, of course, there we go, 440s from the LMS in maroon and black. Then two D49s, we have, I think, the Burton in the black and the Cheshire in the green, I'm going to guess. A couple of schools class here. There are the railroad and railways versions, but these are the two railroad ones. I can't remember their names now. Cheltenham, I think, and Dover, I think is the other one. Oh, there we go, I think I have remembered. Now we have a few railroad diesels on the bottom shelf, so we have the Warship there, the Class 40, is that a Class 40? I think that's a Class 41. I'm going to guess Class 40, I'm not very good with my diesels, am I? Anyway, then we have the Hall class, that one is Alton Hall there. Just next to that we have another county class, let me just brighten this up a bit. Yes, we've already seen the counties, but that is the 460 version, yep. Then we've got the Patriot there, that's a lovely, another 460 Patriot. Another Patriot in the black, that one's Lady Godiva, I showed that not long ago. Then we've got the Holmby Railroad Black 5, which is quite a nice model actually, to say it's in the railroad range. Then we've got the, well, a few 9Fs, so we've got the Franco Crosty 9F there, the standard 9F, just the black. Then we've got my special 9F, the one I drove at the GCR, yes, I've got to get that in there. And then on the end we have, of course, the most famous 9F of them all, that one is Evening Star, and you can always tell that because it's got the copper-coloured chimney there. And just to throw this in here, I've got some odds and ends, so we've got the Berkshire just there, we have the G3 or G4, something like that, not absolutely sure. It's a Fleischmann, I think it's a German locomotive or something like that. Then of course we've got the Daylight GS4, Gordon of course, which was too big to fit on the Thomas and Friends shelf, and then this strange Lima French locomotive, which I do quite like, but it's not a brilliant runner. But yes, that is just a few locos that didn't really belong anywhere else. So I used to have all my shelves categorised into different types of steam loco, but these days I've just got so many that I've just had to cram them wherever they'll fit. So this next shelf is just very, very loosely categorised as medium-sized tender engines. So let's start over here. We have the 3MT, I'm going to guess. It's an IVAT anyway. It might even be a 4. Yes, I'm going to guess it's an IVAT class 4. Okay, that's my guess. Then of course we've got the Super D, the G2A just there. This one is, I think, the Robinson. Oh, I'm going to struggle with these 280s. It is a Robinson. I'm going to say it's an 04. Okay, I'm going to guess that. Let me know if I'm right. Then we have the Raven Q6, of course. That's quite a recognisable LNER one. Then we've got the Thompson 01. I think that's right. Yep. Then the 7F, of course, which is actually quite a large steam loco, but it's not too long, so it does fit on this shelf. Then, of course, this is the B12. I think it's the B12. It's very easy to get that mixed up with the D16, which we'll see later on. But no, I'm pretty sure that's the B12. Then, of course, we've got the Schools class, the Standard Class 5, I'm going to say. Yeah, I think that's the Standard 5. The Patriot there in the maroon. We have this one, I think that's the K1, is it? Another Gresley design. Another Standard 5, this time in the BR green. Then we have the Crab, the Bachmann Crab, which is weathered. The Bachmann Midland Compound, I'm going to say. Yes, I think that's right. The Bachmann Jubilee, I think that is the Holmby B17, I'm going to guess. That might be wrong, actually. Let's see. Yeah, I think it's the B17. Let me know if it's not. Then we've got the D16. I think that's the D16 in the black, of course. Then we have what I think is the D11. Yes, that's Edie Ochiltree. Very nice. The Southern S15, I think that one is. And then the Royal Scot, that is an Airfix Royal Scot, so I don't run that one too much because it's not a great runner. So, next shelf up then is the smaller tender engines and the start of the tank engines. So this, I think, is the Holmby 4F, isn't it, with the TTS sound. Then we have, I think that's the C-Class. It does look like the J15, but no, I think that is the C-Class. City Class, of course, City of Birmingham, that one, 440, very, very nice. That is the Drummond 700 class, Southern 040. 040, 060. And then we've got two Southern 440s. They are the T9 in the LSWR style green, and then the Southern black. Then we have the J15, I think I'm right in saying that. Then we've got a little 060 here, tender engine, I think that is the J39, I'm going to guess. No, it's not the J39, is it? Ooh, I forget that one. Right, if anyone wants to look it up, it's number 64325. I haven't reviewed that one yet, which is why I'm not too clued in on it, but I'll give you a closer look. There she is. Not a brilliant look at that, but I will review it sometime, and then you'll see it properly. Okay, then another D16, this time in the green, of course. Two 2Ps, we've got the S&DJR version there, and then the BR version. Then we've got the Duke Dog. I think Duke Dog is the best name I've got for it at the moment. It's a 440, the Great Western one, I think you'll know it. Dean Goods, of course, that's the Oxford Rail one. And now we're on to a few tank engines, so we've got the Fowler 4P, I think. Then we have the Stanier 4P, very similar tank engines, but very, very slightly different. Then the J94, that is the Holmby version, not the dreaded DJM version. Then we have the 72XX, I'm going to guess. Yeah, well, the running number starts with 72, so that's a good clue. And then we've got the 6100 class, I think. That is a Great Western Prairie, I think. Yeah, it will be a Prairie if it's a 262. Again, that's another Hornby one. Then we've got the Bachmann E4 there in the Umber, which I really like. And then we've got the Pretend Barclay 040 locomotive. That's the Electrotren one. But really, it's a Spanish locomotive, I think. But it's in a Great Western livery anyway. Then, of course, on the end, we've got the Webb coal tank. Right, let me show you the rest of the tank engines. Okay, so now I'm up on a chair, so it's a bit precarious. I'll try my best to keep pointing, but sometimes I'll just have to point the camera. So we've got a few 14XXs here. We've got the Airfix one there and the Hornby one. Then we've got some N2s. Yeah, just the two N2s there. The one on the end there will be, I think, the Hornby version. And then the second one in, that's the black version, will be the Airfix one. Two of the Oxford Rail Oxford Adams Rail tanks there. Sorry, mine went a little bit blank there. We've got the green version, the EKR, I think, East Kent Railway to guess, green, and the BR black. Then we've got another N2, don't know why it's not with the others, but that is the mainline version, I think. And then we have the J20 something, it's a Holmby 060. Do you want to see the running number? There you go. I did used to know what that one was, but I've gone and forgotten now. There you go. 68472. I do apologise for that one. That's one of the kind of standard looking tank engines, so I've gone and forgotten that. But there we have a much more recognisable one. That is the M7, of course. Then we have the Bachmann V3 and the Holmby L1. Two quite similar looking tank engines there from the LNER, but they are different. Then we have the, I'm just trying to remember what it's from. It's the Class 5 anyway, the LNYR Class 5, there we go. Then a J50, that's the Lima J50. Then we have another Holmby pannier tank, not absolutely sure of the class of that one. Then we have another loco, this is another mainline one, I think it's a 66XX, although I might be wrong. Then there's another tank engine here, which is running number 1226, again I've forgotten what that one is. It's a J something though, I'm pretty sure. To the left of that we have the J50, yes I won't forget that, because the J50 is very, very unique looking. Then to the left of that we have the Terrier, of course, another LBSC loco to the left of that, which is of course the E2, and then on the end there a couple of Ginties. Yes, I nearly said Terriers again, but no, Ginties. Blimey, it's hot up here. Let's go back down and I will show you some more shelves. So, we're at the stage now where my brain has started to go into meltdown because it's having to remember all of these locos. So it's a bit of a marathon, but we'll carry on, see if I can't finish this off. So we've got the West Country class on the end there, that is a Holmby one, and that one is Camelford. Then of course the very recognisable P2, won't forget that one, you definitely can't forget that. Then we've got a Class 8 here, that's Duke of Gloucester of course, which is a standard Class 8 as I say. A4, another A4 Golden Eagle of course, and then we've got, I think is a Hall, is that on Pitchford Hall? I'm going to go out on a limb and say that's Pitchford Hall without checking, but if you want to look up the running number and confirm it, feel free to. Then we have the, let's see here, this is the King class, number 6006, very, very lovely. Then we have the Castle class here, which is Earl of St. Germans there, very, very nice. To the left of that we have the Star class, which is British Monarch, I think, if I remember correctly. Then we've got another King, but in the BR Blue this time. To the left of that, another Crab, but again in the LMS. Here we have, I think that's going to be a B1, isn't it, in the LNER green, if I'm correct about that. Do let me know. Running number 61310, I think that's a B1. Then, of course, we've got the Coronation class. It looks like Duchess of Hamilton, but it's not. It's City of Birmingham. There we go. But it is in the maroon, just like the Hamilton is. Then we've got the Colic class. That's the black. BR Black version, I think, 2259. Then we've got another 280. What's this one then? I think that's the ROD one, isn't it? I hope I didn't already pass the ROD one. No, that's the ROD. So that's the ROD 280. Then we've got Book Law. No, that's not Book Law. That one there is Book Law. This one is the Woolwinder, I think, in the gloss, as you can see. And then here we have WP Allen, which is Peppercorn A1, I think it is. Yeah, I think I'm right in saying that. Then here we have the Bachmann 4F, pretty sure that's the Bachmann 4F, I apologise if that's wrong, but I think that's what it is. Then we've got the D11, which is in the lovely, lovely Great Central livery, I think it's the Great Central livery. Then we've got Henry, who sticks out a little bit, but he is of course a Black 5, if you didn't know that already. Then we've got the Standard Class 4, running number 75001. The Castle class, Hogwarts Express, of course it should have been a Hall, but Hornby used a Castle, which is a little bit strange. Then we've got the 2MT, or it might even be the IVAC Class 2, I'm not too sure. There's not much difference between the designs, but if you want to look up the running number and let me know, do. Haven't reviewed that one yet, so that's one to do, I think. Then we've got the 28XX, which is a Great Western 280, really, really like that one. Then we've got the Helgen Tango, which is not a very nice model. If you want to check out my review for that, I think it got the worst score ever, so not too pleased with that one. But then next to it is a much, much nicer model. We have the Q1, of course. Which version is this? That's the BR, the early BR version. I have got some others which you're going to see in a moment. Then we've got the C class here, which has the lovely southern green lining, and I apologise for my terrible camera work just then. I just looked down and it was floating. It's quite a big heavy camera to be doing this with, so I do apologise. And then of course we've got Mallard, which I reviewed a few months ago as part of the 80th anniversary. Yes, she really is absolutely gorgeous. Okay, so the next category is locos with detachable tenders. So the tenders for these aren't missing, they're just stored all the way over there in Tender Tower. And it just means I can use this quite shallow shelf to store these on. So two Bachmann A4s here, we've got Golden Eagle and Silver Link. Then we have the Holmby B12, which we've seen already, of course, but that's the old version. Then we've got a D49, which we've seen already again, but that's the older tender-driven version. Another B12 in the BR Blue. Another A4, that one's Sir Nigel Gresley. A couple more B1s there, the Bachmann B1s. We've got the Gresley V3, I think that one is. Is that right? Yes, it's a V2, sorry, V2. There we go. The rebuilt Patriot, the Royal Scot, those two are mainline models. And then we have another Bachmann loco here. That's the Lord Nelson class. Then we have the J39, which I called a different loco, a J39 earlier on. But I believe that one is the actual J39, if anyone wants to confirm that. Another Midland compound, that again is the older version that's tender driven. And of course the tender is away in Tender Towers. And then we've got the N class, another Bachmann there. I think that's the Manor, isn't it? Another Q1, that will be the BR Black version that I have that's weathered. Very nice, that. Then we have the 43XXs, that one's the lined version, that's the unlined. And then we have another 2800 class just there. Another Great Western 280, but again, that's the older Holmby tender-driven version. And in the front here, how could I forget the Gandhi Dancer? Doesn't work anymore, but it's quite a funny sight nonetheless, so I've held on to that. Right, I thought I'd have a break from the big shelves and do another miscellaneous shelf. So these are the locos that, most of them are tank engines that didn't fit onto the tank engine shelf, and other locos which won't fit onto their other shelves. So we've got the Bachmann tram here. I think that's a Philadelphia tram or something like that. Oh, that's the mainline Colic class, there we go. Hatton's P-Class, of course, that's the grey version. Then we have the Bachmann, I'm not too sure, number, let's see if anyone can get this. It's the running number 581, there we go. Do apologise for that. Again, it's a J something, I get all of those J's mixed up. Then, of course, we've got another Hatton's P-Class, but that one is the SECR green version, which I absolutely love. Another pannier tank, but that is the version with the, with no closed cab, which is quite nice. Then we've got another Great Western loco, I think that's a 56XX. It's an 062, I believe. Then we've got the Sentinel, 040 there, Hornby Sentinel, very, very lovely. Hornby Princess, that is Princess... Oh no, Lady Patricia, there we go, but it is a princess. And then on the end there, just hidden, is the Hatton's Barclay 040, and what a beautiful model that is. Really, really like that one. Okay, once again, I'm crammed up against the ceiling here, so I apologise if I sound a bit strange. So here we have the third and final Q1. This is the southern version, which I like very much. Then we've got the N15. That one is Sir Levine. Again, really, really like that one. Hornby 8F there. Again, these have all got tenders, but they're hidden away in Tender Towers. Hornby Tornado, Hornby Merchant Navy class. That one is Canadian Pacific. And then we've got Bibby Line there, so two Merchant Navies. That's another Coronation. That one's City of Nottingham, and she's weathered. Very, very lovely, that. Another Princess, I think that one's Princess Victoria or Princess Elizabeth, something like that. Shall I double check? Yep, Princess Elizabeth is that one. Then we've got another Coronation, that's this one. Again, I can't remember the name of that one. Duchess of Rutland is that. BR green though, very, very nice. Then yet another Coronation. This one is Princess Alexandra. Once again, she's in the blue. That's the famous blue original, I think, Coronation livery. Another P2 just next to her, but that's the railroad version, of course. Yet another West Country class, but that one is the older version. Let's see, that one's Tangmere, of course. Then we have the dreaded DJ Models J94. There it is. Nasty thing. Still haven't knocked that off the shelf yet. Hornby Ginty, that one's the SDJR blue version. The Railway Children Pannier Tank by Bachmann. The Hornby Railroad 14XX, which was a little bit of a disaster, but I've still got it nonetheless. Then we have the 90-something XX. It's the running number 5532. It's something like the 9300 class or something like that. I've completely forgotten that. Yeah, I apologise, but it's a 262 tank engine, I believe. Then we've got the Hornby H class, which is really, really lovely, and on the end there, the Fairburn tank. So there we go, that's the bulk of the modern locos. Okay, bit of a kids section then for you. This is the bulk of my Thomas and Friends collection. So come on kids, let's say these names out together. So we have James, Edward number 1, Edward number 2, that's the Hornby version. James number 2, that's the Hornby version. Bill and Ben, they're sort of double heading at the moment on the shelf there. Then we have Donald and Douglas just here, if I can get them in focus. They're sort of looking at each other quite nicely. Then we have Rosie, Mavis, Ari and Bert. We've got Toby there. Spencer, getting a bit overexposed there. That's Gordon number 2, isn't it, that one? We've already seen the Hornby one. Then we've got Percy, Thomas of course, Oliver, Duck, and where's the other Thomas? I wonder where he's got to. Yes, I've just remembered my Thomas and my Emily are downstairs at the moment, but I have got those, as you know, and that's where they normally sit. So next up then we have my big triang shelf, and essentially this is just Holmby locomotives produced between the 1950s and probably, maybe we could say the early 1980s for some of them. So let's take a look then. The first ones we've got here on the right hand side are the 3 coronations, all of them streamlined. We have just Coronation here, King George the something, and I think that one is a princess of some sort. I can't exactly remember the names. Then we have some more Battle of Britain / West Country classes. 4 of those. There's Winston Churchill, there's I think Fighter Command, whatever you like. 4 of those there. I think one of them's missing its label, but the rest are okay. Then another set of 4, we have some princesses here. I'll try and remember the names of these, or I'll look. Right. So the green one here on the far end is Princess Elizabeth. Then we have another Princess Royal, and these are both Princess Victorias just there. So again, sorry about the shoddy camera work, but hopefully you saw those. Then next along we have some Hall classes. So obviously the one that stands out there, let me just point out the Hall classes, those 4. This is the one that stands out. That is of course Lord Westwood, a fake locomotive. It never really existed in real life, but it was done to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the chairman or something like that. I can't remember the details now. No, 25th anniversary it will have been, because the running number was 2525 or something like that. Anyway, so there's Kneller Hall, Albert Hall, and I think Hagley Hall. There we go. So next, a couple of Britannias. We have just the standard Britannia there, and that one there is Owen Glendower. Then a couple of Flying Scotsman, or no, 3 Flying Scotsman models. We have the 2 different greens, as you can see. We've got this sort of lighter green, and that one's a darker green. I'm still not too sure what the difference is between them, but I'm told they are different liveries. Then on the end, of course, we have the BR green, which is much more recognisable. Then a couple more N15s. The one on the inside, closer to us, the green one, is Sir Dinadan. This black one here is also Sir Dinadan, but it's been painted completely black without any running numbers or anything. So I think that's probably like a wartime train or something like that. Then on the end we have the B12. It's the same B12 as the last couple I showed you, but this is the more original version in the Triang BR Black, I think it is. Now just behind there you can see the Triang version again, which I think is the L&ER one, and it's got the white handrail on there. But on the side of the cab it's just got the letters N and E, which I think again was quite typical. So that's those. Then we have a couple of dock shunters, the red and black ones. Loads of 08 shunters. There's a southern one there, which I think is quite unusual. I've not actually ever seen another one of those. Behind that, the BR green, and then we have the BR blue one at the back there. And then in front we have another, I think, semi-fictional locomotive. It's a saddle tank anyway, number 748. It may well have existed in real life, I'm not too sure. Then the black one there is a Ginty, and the red one at the back is the pannier tank in the London Transport livery. And if I go all the way across to the back, you can see we also have Stephenson's rocket there, a couple of the Hiawatha American Pacifics. Not very often that Triang did American steam locomotives, but they did do a few, and that's a couple of them. Then we have a custom turbomotive just there, as you can see, very, very nice. A standard, I don't know, is that a standard class 3 tank or something like that? Probably. Anyway, it's a 262 again. Then we have some single wheelers. So the 2 on the left, or in fact the 3 on the left, are the Caledonian ones, except the maroon one there is the ex-Caledonian in the LMS livery. Then we have Lord of the Isles with the big shiny dome on there. Looks like next up is a 2P. I'm not getting a good look at this, but I think that is the original 440 2P that Hornby did. Then you've got a couple more of the IVAC Class 2 tender engines. They are the tender version. Yes, I think they're the IVAC ones. I don't think they're the standards. Then there's another Lord of the Isles, again with the shiny dome. That's another one of those L&ER tank engines, which I've forgotten the name. But again, it's a J something. I do apologise for that. Then there's a Dealey 060 tender engine. That's the black version. Next to that are a couple of L1 tender engines. They're 440s from the Southern Railway. Then a couple more of the Dealey 060 tender engines. Very, very nice they are, in the LMS maroon, of course. And then coming up to the end there, we have 2 more pannier tanks. They're the Triang ones. Another Ginty to the right of those, and then finally 3 M7s. The one on the left is the Southern version, and I believe the 2 on the right are both BR versions. So there you go, that is my Triang shelf. Let's move on to some more vintage stuff and look at the Wren shelf. So here we are then at the Wren shelf. Now I say Wren shelf, but as you can see it is now Wren and Friends, because I've had to cram some other diesels in here. So the Wren collection hasn't really changed very much over the last year, but I thought I would include it anyway, just for the sake of being a completionist. So the engine on the right hand side there is not a Wren loco at all. That is the Hornby Class 121 bubble car, which is just there for the time being until I can find a better place for her. Then we have 3 more coronations. We have City of Glasgow, City of is it Edinburgh maybe? No, it's not Edinburgh. Stoke-on-Trent, there we go. And City of London, that's the maroon version. Then 2 more castles, we have Windsor Castle and Cardiff Castle, there we go. Again, sorry for the dodgy camera work there. Couple of A4s, we have Mallard and Golden Eagle. Again, you've seen those already today, but just by different manufacturers. Another 8F there, and that's the very, very rare West Country class. That one's Plymouth, of course. 2 more West Countries, this time in the rebuilt form. We have Dunstable, or Barnstable, yes, Barnstable, yeah, that's right. And Lyme Regis, of course. Then we have some of the standard tank engines, they are the standard 262 tanks. Couple more N2s, they're the very old Holmby Dublo versions, updated by Wren. And then, of course, the R1 on the end there, which is just an 060 tank engine. So behind there we have the Great Western Rail Car, which is very, very nice. The couple of electrics here, that's the Holmby Class 71 and I think the Holmby Class 73, which is a diesel, or an electro diesel, that's it. So it can be diesel, it can be electric. Then at the back, at the very, very back, we have the 128 DMU. Then we have the Helgen Metropolitan, Bobo electric, another electric, ran on the London Underground, I think. Then, of course, the ubiquitous 08 shunter, everybody recognises that. The Class 25 just there, and then the 04 shunter, I think it is. So, let's move on to the rest of the diesels now that we've started them. So, many of my diesels actually live in containers like these, and so I thought rather than just opening out these containers and showing them to you, I will unpack them and get them out onto the floor, and then at least you'll be able to see them better. So I'm going to do that right now, and I will see you in just a second. Alright, so there you have it then, just for one night only, the rest of my diesel collection. Obviously you've already seen some of them, I reckon, well, what do you reckon, about 10, but this is the rest. So obviously nowhere near as many diesels as there are steam, but there's still quite a few of them, so let's get started. We'll start up in this top corner. So we have another, well, actually, I did say diesels. I think diesels is the best way to describe these, but obviously there are electrics here too, and here's one of them now. So this is, I think, a Class 86, going by the running number, so it's an electric there. 2 Triang Class 31s, we have a Lima Class 27, another electric that is, I can't remember now, it's a foreign one anyway, but really quite nice, I've always liked the livery on that. 2 Lima Class 20s, very, very nice, a Bachmann Warship, and a V-Trains Class 37. So below the V-Trains Class 37 there's another Class 31, but that's a Lima version. Then we have a Class 60 in the EWS, that's another Lima. Then we have a very lovely Class 37, that is the Regional Railways version, which I think is fantastic. Then we have a Class 59 in the Yeoman, or Yeoman I suppose you'd say, silver livery there, which is very nice. Another EWS loco under there, that is a Class 56, a Hornby one, and just underneath there, that's the first of a few Blue Pullman sets I've got. I don't know if it was still called the Blue Pullman at that stage, but that's the one with the grey windows, if you're familiar with the Triang ones. Okay, so next up I think this is a Class 26, that's a Helgen loco. Then we have a Class 25, that's the weathered version. Then there's a Hymec, very lovely that one, in the BR green. Another Class 25 just there, which is very nice, that's a pristine version. 3 Class 66s, that's a Lima one, and these 2 are Bachmann ones, and really from that sort of distance you can't tell, you know, that they're very much different, to be honest. Then we have some Blue Pullmans. This is the one with the blue end. I don't know why I've put this one in because it's actually missing its motor bogie, but I will show you the proper version later on. Then we've got another Blue Pullman, this time with the yellow windows, as you can see. Well, not windows, sorry, the yellow ends, that's what I mean. Underneath there we have yet more Class 31s. I don't know what it was about producing Class 31s, but virtually every model railway company has done one. So those are Airfix ones, I believe. Then under there we have a DMU. I think that's the Derby Lightweight. It's a 2-car set. I think that is the Derby Lightweight. Then we have another electric, that is the Intercity 225, not the 125, and you can tell because it's got that slightly different swallow livery there. Then we have the Class, ooh, which one's that? Anyway, Class 51 I'm going to guess. That's probably not right, thinking about it. Yeah, whatever it is, it's the Western Centurion anyway. I have talked about it quite a bit. They're known as Westerns. There we go, I'll call it a Western, and that will, so just forget what I called it anyway. And then we have another transcontinental one there, that is the Triang one, of course. It came as part of a big set, they did coaches that went with it as well, and a back car, but for whatever reason I only ever picked up the powered car, so that's fine, I've always liked that, and there it is just now. Okay, so yet another DMU. I really can't remember what this one is. It's another Bachmann 2-car set. Again, I apologise for that. I am quite ignorant when it comes to diesel classifications. It's a 101 or something like that. It might even be a 101. I'm not absolutely sure. Maybe the next one is. I'm not too sure. Anyway, another class 33, or is that the first class 33? Might be. Another class 73 though. That is the Pullman version. Of course, you've already seen the green Holmby version. That's the same model, but it's the older Lima version. And then we have this Union Pacific Bobo diesel. It's number 1468, if I'm reading that right upside down. That's a Bachmann one. Quite a nice thing. Then we have, well, it looks like a warship. I think it's a class 21, so it isn't a warship. It's a smaller version. I think also they were classified as class 29. I'm not too sure which one this is. I think they were rebuilt into class 21s, or maybe vice versa. Then we have another switcher here. This is another American design, number 912. Not much to say about that. And then, of course, a two-car pacer in the Regional Railways livery there. Always like that. It's known as the passenger cooking pacer. And if you don't know why, look up that review on my channel and you will see it cook some passengers. So below the Pacers we have the Class 58 in the EWS livery, very, very nice. Then of course we've got the Deltic, the Fife and 4-4 of Yeomanry. No idea what that means, but that's its name anyway. Then we have the first of the 125s, that is the Holmby / Virgin version there, which is quite nice. Doesn't exist anymore in real life, apparently the Holmby's been painted over now, but nonetheless it's quite nice to see it here preserved in model form. Then another DMU, I have snuck the coach in there just to help me remember that this is the 110, I'm pretty sure that's the 110. Another Holmby one, and then of course we have this Amtrak diesel, it's another Bobo number 229, and to be honest I can't really tell you much more about it than that. That's pretty much all I know. So to the back we go for the last time then with yet another mystery DMU. I do apologise, I can't remember the name of this one either. I do have all of this information written down somewhere, but I don't want to be juggling pages around while I'm trying to do this because there would be quite a lot of them. But anyway, yeah, if you know what that is, let me know. It's a 1 something anyway. I can't remember. Then we have the Virgin Voyager anyway, very, very nice that one. That is another class 40, I believe, that's the Lima version. And then of course we have some more 125s, I think that's a set and that's a set. They're just Hornby ones, but they do have the updated CD motor into them, which I put inside. Okay, so we're on the home stretch then with Rodney, the class 50. Then we have another class 47, I think it is, but this time it's in the lime green. I'm going to call it lime green. Another High-Mech in the BR blue. Then we have the blue Pullman, and that is the original blue Pullman, I think. Probably the nicest, very nice there. And then we have, I think that's a 2 HAL, is that correct? Yes, I think so. It's a 2 HAL from the Southern Railway. And then finally we have Cock of the North, number 87. 022. It's a class 87, I think it is. So there we go. That is the end of the marathon, and that is my diesel collection. So I hope you enjoyed that. That is my locomotives collection of 2018. And if you're still with me next year, I will be doing this again roughly in a year's time. Assuming, of course, I do buy some more locos in that time, but I normally do, so I think that's quite a safe bet. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. If you were counting, well, first of all, hats off to you. And let me know what you got, what number you got in the comments, and I will see if that sounds right. As I say, I have no idea myself, but it's around the 300 mark, I should think. But yes, I think that's all I've got to say, so thank you very much for watching, and if you made it through to the end, very well done. Let me know in the comments if you did. I will see you next time when I'm going to be doing this with the rolling stock. That should be fun because there's quite a lot of it. But for now, thank you for your time, thank you for watching, and I will see you all very soon. Alright, have a nice day, everybody.